Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the one mistake that keeps your gut from healing even when you're doing everything else right. And this is something that I see very commonly in my practice, and I want to share it with as many people as possible so that you can take the appropriate steps, or if you're feeling stuck when it comes to your gut health or overall health, that you know how to overcome it. So what do you do when you're eating bone broth, you're taking probiotics, avoiding inflammatory foods, and following every gut healing protocol perfectly, but you're still not getting better? There's one critical mistake that 95% of people are making that sabotages all of their gut healing efforts. And can you guess what it is? You're trying to heal your gut while your nervous system is stuck in a fight or flight mode. And so my name is Dr. Strong if you're new to the channel, and this one revelation could be the missing piece that finally allows your gut to heal. So if you've been frustrated because you're doing everything right for your gut health, but still dealing with bloating, pain, food sensitivities, and digestive issues, this video will be a game changer. And I outline this and film them this way so you can follow along and take notes. But what I'm about to share is the most overlooked aspect of gut healing, and it's the reason why some people heal quickly and while others struggle for years despite perfect protocols. So the gut-brain connection revelation, here's what most people don't understand, is that your gut and brain are connected by the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body. This connection is so strong that scientists call your gut your second brain. When your nervous system is in a chronic stress mode, what we call a sympathetic dominance, your body literally shuts down digestion and gut healing. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. When you're running from a tiger, your body doesn't want to waste energy on digestion. And the problem is that modern life keeps us in a chronic fight or flight mode. Work stress, relationship problems, financial worries, poor sleep, and even gut inflammation itself keeps your nervous system activated. And when your nervous system is stuck in stress mode, your gut simply cannot heal no matter what supplements you take or what foods you eat. So the stress gut destruction cycle. Let me explain exactly how chronic stress destroys your gut and prevents you from healing. Stress response number one is digestive shutdown. When stressed, your body diverts blood away from your digestive organs to your muscles and brains. This means that reduced stomach acid production, so if you don't digest foods properly, this could be an issue. Decreased digestive enzyme release, which is why a lot of patients we put on digestive enzymes. Slower gut motility, so if you're only going to the bathroom every 2 or 3 days, that's an issue. You need to be going every day. And then impaired nutrient absorption, which can lead to more chronic issues. Stress response number two is the gut barrier breakdown. Chronic stress hormones like cortisol directly damage your intestinal lining, creating leaky gut. Stress literally punches holes in your gut wall. Isn't that pretty interesting to think about? Now, stress response number three is the microbiome disruption. Stress kills the beneficial bacteria while allowing harmful bacteria to flourish. One study showed that just 2 hours of acute stress could alter the gut microbiome for weeks. So it's very important that you take this seriously and you kind of follow my protocol at the end here. Now, stress response number four is the inflammation cascade, where chronic stress triggers systemic inflammation, which further damages the gut and prevents healing. So if you're inflamed, fibromyalgia is a very common one that we see, that you need to address the foot with any type of fibromyalgia because it's a gut problem. There's really no other reason why that would be going on. The vicious cycle. So stress damages your gut. Gut damage creates more stress. More stress prevents healing, and gut gets worse and stress increases. This is why you see patients and they just continue down this cycle, and they've tried medications, they've tried everything, but they just continue to get worse. And this is why people can follow this perfect gut healing protocol but never get better. They're trying to heal their body while it's actively preventing healing. So we need to understand the vagus nerve and your healing highway. This is the key to breaking the cycle, is understanding the vagus nerve and your body's healing highway. The vagus nerve controls what's called your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. When your vagus nerve is activated, here's what happens. Digestion improves dramatically, gut healing accelerates, inflammation decreases, beneficial bacteria flourish. And if you haven't seen my past video where I talk about the bacteria that can actually help you with like depression or anxiety, go back and watch that video. And that's why this is so important. And then nutrient absorption increases, leading to less nutrient deficiencies. But here's the problem. Most people have poor vagal tone, meaning their vagus nerve isn't functioning optimally. This is often called vagal dysfunction, and it's an epidemic in our stressed out society. Here are signs of poor vagal tone. Digestive issues that worsen with stress, difficulty relaxing even when trying, poor heart rate variability. There are tons of devices that you can use now to measure heart rate variability, and I did do a video about that, so you can go watch and learn about that. Shallow breathing patterns. This is something I struggle with because when I get stressed, I hold my breath. And I've got to where now I try to do more box breathing. I sit in the sauna and do breathing, and it seems to help me calm down a lot. Chronic inflammation, sleep problems, anxiety, and depression. But here's the good news. You can strengthen your vagus nerve and dramatically improve your gut healing capacity. Here are the hidden stressors sabotaging your gut that you may not be aware about. Most people think that they're not stressed, but there are hidden stressors constantly activating your fight or flight response. Physical stressors include chronic infections, parasites, SIBO, candida. This is where you can work with a healthcare provider to figure that out. Food sensitivities and allergies, see this on almost every patient. Blood sugar imbalances, 40% of my patients are diabetics. Nutrient deficiencies, this commonly goes along with autoimmune issues. Poor sleep quality, I am so cranky if I don't get good sleep, so this is why this is a priority for me. Over exercising, I spend no longer than 60 minutes in the gym, and that's it. The rest of the time is doing like very passive movements like the sauna or, taking a cold shower or something like that, working on breathing or under exercising. All you need to do is, 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week, and you're fine. You don't need to overdo it. Chemical stressors are environmental toxins that we see in our food, that we see in beauty products, especially for women. You got to be careful about that. Medications, I've seen people on anywhere between 10 to 15 medications at a time, and it's really sad. Alcohol and caffeine. So alcohol just isn't good for you in general. I understand that there are social events and there are times, but you don't want it to be a staple. We see this causing neuropathy quite often. And then caffeine, it's something, I use caffeine. However, you want to try to detox it off of it at least once a month. Processed foods and additives, this is a huge issue in America. And then heavy metals, that's a harder one. You need to talk to a healthcare provider if you suspect that or if you want to get testing. Emotional stressors like work pressure and deadlines, relationship conflicts, financial worries, past trauma, even childhood trauma, perfectionism, and control issues. And then constant information overload. I see this maybe in about 20% of my patients. They're just overthinking way too much. And we avoid the basics when it comes to our health and healing. And then mental stressors, negative thought patterns, catastrophic thinking, chronic worry about health, and then information overwhelm for Dr. Google, okay? This is why I'm trying to, I use the most update information and the information that I'm using in my clinic to date to help patients get amazing results with their health. And so, all of this applies. Now, here's what's shocking. Even obsessing over your gut health and constantly monitoring your symptoms can keep you in stress mode and prevent healing. So here's the nervous system reset protocol. This is my proven protocol for resetting your nervous system and activating your body's healing mode. Phase 1 is where we want to work on the immediate stress reduction. This is days 1 through 7. So deep breathing exercises, 4, 7, 8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Box breathing is where you can do 4 counts in, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold for 4. I like that one. That's probably my favorite. And then you can practice this, just 5 to 10 minutes, and then do that 3 times a day. And this will help with oxygenating your system, helping reduce chronic inflammation, and lowering that sympathetic response. Vagus nerve activation, cold exposure in showers with 30 seconds of cold water. This works, especially contrast showers about 2 hours before bed. It's great for both de-stressing and helping with your sleep. Humming or singing, vibrations stimulate the vagus nerve. Gargling, 30 seconds after brushing your teeth. And then deep belly laughing. Watch comedy, laugh with friends, enjoy life. Okay. Phase 2, nervous system strengthening, weeks 2 through 4. Heart rate variability training. You can use HRV apps like HeartMath or Breathe. Practice coherent breathing, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Aim for 10 to 20 minutes daily with this. Meditation and mindfulness, start with 5 minutes daily, build up to 20. Journaling is a really good thing that you can do. You can focus on body scan or breath awareness, and by body scan, just feeling, where you have stress in your body, like if your shoulder's hurting you or your back's hurting you, kind of focus and bringing more awareness to that body. You can use apps like Headspace, which is amazing, or Calm if needed, and Headspace is on Netflix if you haven't seen it on there. Phase 3 is the long-term nervous system optimization, so month 2 plus. Sleep optimization, consistent sleep-wake times. So you want to try to get up and go to bed at the same time. A dark, cool room between 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. No screens 2 hours before bed. I know that one's hard, but try it out. And then magnesium glycinate before bed is a great additive. So movement for healing, gentle yoga or Tai Chi, just getting out, walking in nature, like I'm going and walking on the beach tomorrow as part of my kind of reset, for the week. And then avoid intense exercise during the gut healing phase. You don't want to stress yourself out even more in these repairing phases. And it's okay to back off. You still, I tell people go like 50, 70% of what you normally would, and that takes less stress off of you, but you're still getting out and moving, doing things. And then social connection is regular, meaningful conversations, physical touch, hugs, massage, community involvement, or volunteering. Those are great things that you can do. The mind gut healing techniques. So here are specific techniques that directly improve gut healing by calming your nervous system. Gut-directed hypnotherapy. Research shows that this is as effective as medications for IBS. You can find guided sessions online or work with a practitioner. Progressive muscle relaxation. Systematically tense and release muscle groups while focusing on your gut. This directly reduces gut tension and inflammation. Visualization healing. Spend 10 minutes a daily visualizing your gut lining healing, inflammation reducing, and beneficial bacteria flourishing. The mind-body connection is extremely powerful. And then there's emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. This combines acupressure with psychology to reduce stress and trauma that may be stored in the gut. This works by bringing attention and bringing blood flow to the areas with the tapping. That's how it works from more of a neurological standpoint. And then gratitude practice. Just write down 3 things you're grateful for daily. Gratitude activates the parasympathetic nervous system and improves gut function. So the trauma-gut connection, here's something that a lot of doctors miss, is that unresolved trauma, even from childhood, can keep your nervous system stuck in survival mode and prevent gut healing. So adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, are strongly linked to irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, chronic gut inflammation, food sensitivities, and autoimmune conditions. The gut literally stores emotional trauma. Phrases like gut feeling, butterflies in your stomach, and gut wrenching exist because we feel emotions in our gut. Remember, this is where 90% of your serotonin is made. And if you tried everything for your gut but have unresolved trauma, you may need to address the emotional component through trauma-informed therapy, EMDR, that's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. That's actually a very good therapy. You can find maybe like a psychiatrist or a psychologist that does that in your area. Somatic experiencing, this is where you're just kind of like touching your body and working through that, or you can have somebody else like lightly touch you that way, and that just like kind of calms your system down. Breathwork therapy, we talked about that. And now this isn't woo-woo, right? It's backed by solid research showing that that healing trauma can directly improve your gut health. So here are some success stories. Let me share transformations when people addressed the nervous system component. So Jennifer, a 42-year-old executive with severe IBS, had tried every diet and supplement for 5 years. When we focused on stress management and vagus nerve training, her symptoms improved by 80% in just 6 weeks. And then Mark, who is a perfectionist with chronic gut inflammation, couldn't heal despite perfect protocols. When he started meditation and addressed his anxiety, his gut finally began healing after 2 years of struggle. And then there was Lisa, who had childhood trauma and adult digestive issues, saw a dramatic improvement when she combined gut healing protocols with trauma therapy. Her food sensitivities disappeared as she healed emotionally. The pattern is always the same. When people address the nervous system component, their gut healing accelerates dramatically. Now, the measurement mistake. Here's another critical mistake: that constantly monitoring and measuring your gut symptoms keeps you in stress mode. For example, for our neuropathy patients, we only measure every 3 months because we need time to make changes. So if you're constantly, and you see this with weight too, if you're weighing every day, you could just have increased water weight that day. It doesn't mean that you're gaining that much fat. And this is where people get it in their head and get it so wrong. And I see people obsessively tracking every bowel movement, every symptom, every food reaction, every supplement response. And the hypervigilance keeps your nervous system activated and actually prevents your healing. Your gut just needs to relax and trust the process. Instead of constantly monitoring, check in with symptoms weekly, not daily. Focus on overall trends, not daily fluctuations, and then celebrate small improvements. Trust your body's wisdom to heal. If you've been struggling with gut healing despite doing everything right, it's time to address your nervous system. And I've created a guide, and this guide is for you, that goes over everything that you need to do. So it's all outlined for you. Now, in closing, remember that your gut can heal while your nervous system is in survival mode. All the bone broth, probiotics, and supplements in the world won't work if your body thinks it's being chased by a tiger. So calm your nervous system and watch your gut healing accelerate beyond what you thought was possible. My name is Dr. Todd Strong, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll reveal the one test that can tell you exactly what's wrong with your gut, and it's not what most doctors order. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support. Share it with somebody who may be struggling. And I would love your feedback about if you like these videos, if you don't like, if you would rather have more like visuals, if you would like the PDFs that I create with this. And yes, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.